Hey traders, this is MACDaddy Trader. Today we're going to be doing a live tutorial on how to set up and use Mindset Mastery Pro. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bells for more videos like this. Let's get started. So Mindset Mastery Pro is an indicator I made, and what you do is you click this first button here. And you're going to want to go down to custom factors. Now, right now it has its own default settings, has your window positions, everything saved. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to new profile, and we can name it whatever we want to. I will name this MACDaddy, and we're going to go ahead and save it. All right, and then we're going to load it. So let's go here, and we'll load MACDaddy. So now it shows MACDaddy right there. And we're going to add some factors. First, let's start with the quantitative. And Brian from A Plus Setups gave me some good ones to put in here. First one is going to be heart rate. And we're going to weight this to where it exceeds the low threshold down here. So we're going to call this 0.061. And we will add that as a factor. Now it's darked out right now because it's not saved. And so what we'll go ahead and do is we will add in our own factors as answers. And what we can do is we can say, hey, from 55 all the way to 65, this is going to be a positive answer. And we add that. And then we can get rid of these. And then anything from 65 to 80, I'd say, is neutral, at least for me for now. I don't really know until I start tracking it. And then from 80 onward, we can go ahead and say that's negative. All right, and we'll close that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to save. Save, and then hit load. See, now it's light colored here, so this is all baked in now. And we can remove it and save it and load it again. Doesn't matter. So now let's add one more. Let's go ahead and add sleep. And we'll make this a qualitative thing too. Or, I'm sorry, quantitative. So we're going to do hours, numbers of sleep. So we have a selection. We can also use a slider. Let's see here. We can do select. And same thing like we did previously. 0 to 4 hours, we're going to say that's negative. Don't really want to trade there. We can remove the default ones. Next, we're going to say 4 to 6 is neutral. And then 6 to 8 is positive. All right. Close that. And now we're going to save it. We're going to load it. And it's good. Okay. Now we can do some qualitative ones. We can say, did you complete your daily affirmations? And again, these are critical aspects. I'm not doing an exhaustive list. I'm only doing criticals, especially if you're day trading or scalping and you want to do this. You want to do this checklist prior to every trade or prior to a group of trades. You can do that either way, as long as you're basically anytime you come back to the desk, you can do your pre-trade checklist. But right now we're still coming up with this, and it's selectable. We're going to go in here, yes for positive, no for negative. And that's all we're going to do with that. We're going to go ahead and save and then load. All right, so we have heart rate, sleep hours, daily affirmations. And then I like to do one that's a little more qualitative. We'll do mindset. And this one's not going to weigh as much, but if it is a negative correlation, it will dock some points off. So I have mindset, and then we're going to add some positive and negative things here. Focused. is a positive. Calm is a positive. Anxious is a negative. Revengeful, that's definitely a negative. Okay, and then we can remove these two, and that's good enough. You don't want to over include a lot of things because then it takes more time to go through everything. But if you're trading on a longer time frame, then you can add a few more. So let's go ahead and save this, load it back up, and there we go. And I think that's good enough for what we're doing here. And let's just go ahead and save it one more time and load it. All right, and now we can go ahead and just close this out. And we're going to our dashboard. And right now we have a default journal, and we can fill that up. Notice how it accumulated all the factors that we just made. But if I want to go ahead and make a new journal, because let's say this is filled up with a different account or something, I can go ahead and create a new journal for, let's say, account number 2. Or let's say new quarter, quarter Q4, current year 25. We can say that and create a journal. Okay, and once that's clicked, you should see it here. And just click a few things to make sure they work and they're all present. So now this journal will save so long as you put in your first pre-trade entry. So let's say we want to take an entry here long. We go ahead and check our heart rate. We see that it's in this level. We know that we had 6 to 8 hours of sleep last night. We've done our affirmations and we feel focused. Readiness is 79%. We're going to hit submit. The button turns green to remind you that you are ready. So that's nice to have right there, because it's a constant reminder of, hey, as I'm looking to enter, I can identify my readiness. So it kind of gives me a reminder of my mental state. So now, let's say we won that trade, and we took our TP. Okay, we're going to go to post-trade analysis. We're going to say when. And let's say we won $100. Plan followed, yes. Emotion after, these are default. So you hit satisfied. You can put whatever you want in here. You could say I traded with my edge. Traded focused and with edge. Okay. All right, and so now after a couple that we've entered, couple trades, we can go to our dashboard. And when we go here, we can extend this a little bit and move it around. We know we're in our journal, and we can sort by date, or we can hit all, so it includes all the dates. And then we can start to see some data accumulating. Our readiness looks like it's highly correlated to our P&L, and we can also see our trend here of how well we adhere to our readiness prior to a trade. So that's really nice to see. And you should, if you're using this properly and you already have a strategy that works, you should see bottom left, top right cigar shape over time. And that's what we're looking for, especially for quantitative factors. Average readiness, over time you can kind of see what's going on. P&L, correlation to readiness, this is anything close to 1, you have a high correlation. Best trigger so far on this sample is sleep. Worst trigger is the heart rate. So it appears that in my random clicking, if I were to have actually done those trades and what I clicked was true to form, it appears that my heart rate has an inverse relationship. The higher my heart rate is, the higher P&L I should have, because there's an inverse relationship to my heart rate. And we can check that out right now. So heart rate, and that's not enough data samples at all. So you'll need to check on that. And then sleep. Sleep, we have a very high correlation, strong direct relationship. High values tend to align with high P&L. So that's good to see. And we're not very consistent with our trends, but we are above the 50% when it comes to readiness of our sleep. Daily affirmations have a moderate direct relationship, higher values, and then mindset, moderate direct relationship. And we can also see our readiness scores relative to our trades, and this will have a scroll once it exceeds the limit there. Also, if you have very high correlations or strong correlations, whether it's positive or negative, it'll show up here. And you can always create a new journal. So that pretty much sums up this indicator, with the exception of the different modes that you can do here. So light mode obviously turns your background white, and dark mode is what we just used. So you can see that here. And then I have added a colorblind mode for those with difficulty seeing different variations of blue and red and green. So this one is pretty nice because this one has yellow letters. If you would like a copy of this indicator, link in the description is below. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I also have a link to my Discord in the description as well, so you can follow along on any updates I may have for Mindset Mastery Pro. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just shoot me an email at MACDaddyTraderHelp@gmail.com, and I can get those answered for you, or drop them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.